Given that Mr. Hackman had severe heart disease and was in really poor health, do we think he was able to live independently and survive? Check his fluids to see whether he was dehydrated, but I didn't notice any signs of it, and the fact that he had no food in his stomach indicated that he hadn't eaten recently. Do we think Mr. Hackman was able to live alone and survive? The answer is that Mr. Hackman had signs of advanced Alzheimer's disease. I don't know what his normal capacity for daily functioning was, but he was in a very bad state of health and had severe heart disease, which I believe ultimately led to his death. I was able to check his fluids to see if he was dehydrated, but I didn't see any signs of dehydration, and I did see signs of very poor kidney function. I believe that Mr. Hackman's heat can be traced back to the hantavirus infection, which starts with what is known as a prodromal phase, which is characterized by flu-like symptoms at first, such as fever and muscle aches, and then, after being exposed to rodent excrement, can last for about 3 to 6 days. After that, they can move on to the pulmonary phase, which is characterized by fluid in and around the lungs, and at that point, a person can die very quickly, usually within 24 to 48 hours, if no medical attention is received. It is not unusual to find someone on the ground during a terminal collapse, so to speak, and it's possible that's what actually occurred. I don't believe she was on the floor of her life for a few days, and I don't know when she started feeling sick. Those are just questions I'll never be able to answer, but I believe that she went through that period for about 3 to 6 days before passing away fairly quickly after fluid started to accumulate in her lungs. It's also possible that he was unaware that she was dead. One of his fans had gotten in touch with me and told me that they could view the data from the 17th, but that the pacemaker, like painting, historical fiction writing, or just taking in the peace and quiet of rural New Mexico. As the investigation proceeded, the Hackman mansion in Santa Fe stood abandoned, sealed off with police tape. Eager news outlets circled for updates, but official statements were measured. The couple exuded a sense of quiet contentment, making the idea of simultaneous tragedy all the more astounding if they were dealing with undisclosed illnesses. Few in their inner circle were aware that there were no widely reported hospital visits or crises in the months before they were found, suggesting that any underlying problem might have manifested rapidly. It could take weeks or months for the autopsy and toxicology testing to be finished, thus it would take a long time before the public found out if the pair died of medical emergency, prescription errors, or other unreported causes. Without a clear explanation, the family was left to organize memorial services in the interim. Celebrities in Hollywood voiced their sadness that G. Hackman, who had performed some of the best roles in the business, would not be given a straightforward send-off like many others before him, but rather that he and Betsy would become the focus of a sinister mystery. Social media tributes grew as fans shared pictures of their favorite scenes and personal accounts of how Hackman's roles influenced their passion for movies. No one wanted the memory of Gene Hackman to be overshadowed by obscene speculation, so some supporters and family members hoped that answers after the autopsies were finished would put an end to the circulating rumors about whether the couple passed away from an unfortunate combination of age and medical factors or whether there was a hidden dimension to their final hours. At the very least, they sought a respectful resolution, a dignified funeral or burial service that would highlight the couple's legacy of love rather than the peculiar circumstances of their passing.